Holy bananas. Thank you. I am likely the most ordinary commencement speaker that SAIC has ever had. Some of you might even be feeling a little ripped off right now. And I commiserate. I mean, this school is expensive. The SAIC experience has likely left you with a full slate for your therapist for years to come. And then you get who to speak at your commencement? Angelique Power? That's likely not even her real name. But perhaps it helps you to know that I was once in your exact shoes. Entering the School of the Art Institute in 1996, I was so excited to be in the city. This is my hometown. I was so excited to be in the school with its global prestige and to be a pioneer or a guinea pig in the inaugural SAIC MFA in Writing program. I was the first class. And at that time, it was the only one in the country that was set in an art department, in an art school instead of in a literary department. I was this Black, Jewish Hyde Parker with cat-eye glasses and wild, unbrushed hair who spent most of her days writing poetry and fiction and love letters. Arriving at graduate school, I thought I had found this safe place to sit and dream. Well, that ain't grad school. First of all, in 1996, I was one of a handful of students of color on the campus, and there were very few faculty members either, but shout out to Calvin Forbes. The canon that we learned to reference was mostly American or European white men, and there were some white women that were a part of that too. The critiques on my work often lacked a cultural competency from the professors and some of my fellow students. And I remember when I was a teaching assistant, I had designed a course where I was going to take undergraduate students and we were going to go around the city of Chicago and we were going to sit with hip-hop artists and with storytellers and we were going to go to open mic nights, and it was promptly dismissed as lacking substance and rigor. There was no juxtaposition at that time, but. And what I will say about that is that is when the lessons of SAIC really began to materialize. Some of the lessons that you learned here are stated. Many of the lessons you learn here are unstated. And in life, it's the unstated lessons that are often more important. Carry the commitment to studying the unstated lessons into the world with you. You are going to need it. Today you're receiving diplomas for BFAs and MFAs. Some of you are even getting dual degrees. Yes. What your diplomas won't say is that the function of an art school is to learn that creativity isn't a lightning strike. It's a daily act of channeling electricity into something bigger. It is very hard work. And it's tenacity in the face of very few understanding what you are up to. It's an unrelenting belief in the currency of your own ideas. And while ideation is absolutely the lightning strike, implementation is the way to tell the artists from the merely aspirational. We are, in fact, the dreamers and the doers. We are the builders. We stick to it, and we build into the unknown. We build into what could be. In this room, there are over 1,000 students, over 1,000 dreamers and doers who stuck with it through the pandemic because you are artists and administrators. You are not one or the other. You are, in fact, the ampersand. You connect ideas and reality. And when you feel despair, you channel it into bravery. Carry this ability into the world with you. We need brave, connective souls right now. So did I mention the school is expensive? I left SAIC and I dove into the job market to begin to pay back my student loans. I worked in corporate America. I worked in museums. I worked in foundations. And in every place I work, I understand there's so much unstated to study and learn. Every day, I study how money moves. Who is making decisions and for whom? Who has power and who is the beneficiary? What are the stories that we tell ourselves? And what are the actions? And do they match these stories? What is the economic system humming in the background? And how is it designing our destiny? From wherever we are in our lives, we have platforms and opportunities to study the unsaid and use these lessons to shift institutions, to disrupt old systems and build anew. For instance, I've spent the last 11 years in philanthropy. Every day, I do whatever I can to move money and power to people who are visionaries, to Black and brown artists, media makers and storytellers, organizers and community leaders, and young people, always young people. Every day I pass the mic and the money and help others lead us to where we need to go. That class that got turned down back in '96, every day I work to make sure that the unseen is seen, the unfunded gets capital. I use the currency of my ideas to fund the currency of your ideas. Every place you go, continue your studies. Bring your artist's mind, bring your administrative heart, bring your ampersand soul. Get a bachelor's degree in unspoken system design and a master's in the resistance to equity and justice. Study the power lines, study the money, and know what you're learning you are going to use to build something new one day. Carry this with you into the world. The redesign of our entire tomorrow needs you. As I said earlier, there's an electricity in being able to invest in your own ideas. And more than being able to hear your ideas, you are carrying with you the ability to know when these ideas are mediocre at best. SAIC teaches us to manifest our ideas, but not to fall in love with our own reflection. To hear the most scathing critiques. And I mean, there should be a master's degree in shit talking during Crit Week and disguising it as objective feedback. Right? I mean, some of y'all are summa cum laude in the art of critique, honey, okay? But this is why an art school education should be mandatory. Recognizing our own mediocrity and demanding we keep at it, we keep pushing, we push past it, we do our best thinking and work to channel the unexpected but sorely needed into being. Carry that with you today. Replace the hollowness of hubris with genuine humility. Lord knows, the world needs us to look at ourselves and ask for more. You also turned that powerful gift of loving critique on this institution itself. In the past few years, you asked SAIC to go deeper with each of you, to ask itself how it's complicit with structural racism, with white supremacist culture. You asked it if it's serious about what it means to do and if it's willing to touch the third rails inside of the art world itself, the racialized capitalism of contemporary art, of curatorial authority, of collecting and procuring and trading in who is not here, who anoints whom, and whose canon. Today, SAIC has its first anti-racism committee in its history. And soon, an ombudsman to mediate conflict, a dedicated space for BIPOC students coming this fall, and an acknowledgement that this is not enough, but it's going to keep going. It will keep building. And you are now challenging it to contend with a non-tenure track faculty union. You are demanding that it understand how pay equity is critical. You did this, you're doing this. You created an ensemble demanding justice in the world and in your own institution, and change is in motion. You chose to recognize SAIC in each of our own mediocrity around equity and justice and demand we keep going. We push past it. We do better thinking on it. We keep working to channel that unexpected but sorely needed into being. So what comes next? Well, and I mean this lovingly, you will need to recover from your SAIC experience. I say this not because it's SAIC. I say this because that is the function of a great art school. As much as you have shaped SAIC and helped it grow, you chose this space to change yourself, first and foremost. SAIC is meant to shatter ideas of space and ideas of self. It is meant to knock you down so you rise up stronger. It is meant to use iron to sharpen iron. So go forth with all of your inheritance from this place. You are made of big ideas and the tenacity to make them real. You are made of tough questions. You will not accept mediocrity, not from yourself and not from any institution or system. And most of all, you will build boldly into the unknown. The world needs builders now more than ever. We need the artists. When people ask, how can I run a foundation while rethinking philanthropy? I say it's because I have an MFA instead of an MBA. I say it's because I am an ampersand, anchored and swirling, building and changing, inclusive and wild, intersectional and swooping. To the class of 2020, 2021, and 2022, you are the ampersand. You are the parentheses and the bold. You are the italic and the dot, dot, dot. And the world has never been more ready for you. Congratulations.